Okay, here is an original effect that's meant to help you in your development of psychic intuition. Okay, so what you need here is you need the spectator to freely choose two sets of three of a kind that are easy to distinguish and remember. So here the spectator chose 3 jacks and 3 queens. And then we have a die here I'll use in place of a spectator who would be given the option to randomly choose a number between 1 and 5. Okay, so I'll set this aside for the moment. Okay, so you can randomly stack these according to the spectator's request. Maybe they want jacks on top, that's fine. So to begin to mix the cards thoroughly, I'm going to push off pairs of cards like so into 3 piles. And then we'll stack pile 1 on top of pile 3 and that on top of pile 2. And I can even show you that the cards are, beginning to be mixed. We're going to mix them much more in just a moment. Okay, so this is where our die comes in here, or a random number between 1 and 5. So I'm going to roll this. If it's 6, we'll try again. In fact, in some ways, if it's a 1, it's a little bit boring. 1's fine. So why don't we say between 2 and 5, just to make it interesting. But just know that you can actually perform what I'm going to show you here as many times as you like. Okay, so let's say a number between 2 and 5. Okay, 5. Okay, we have a bit of work to do here. Okay, so 5. How am I going to use that 5 that was randomly arrived at? Well, I'm going to perform the down under shuffle, the Australian shuffle, 5 times. Okay, so let me show you how this works. It's down, under, down, under, down, under, down, down, last one on top. Okay, that's number 1. Okay. Need to focus my little brain cells here. Down, under. I think that's number 3. Okay, number 4 is coming up here. And number 5, finally. Okay, so 5 down unders. Okay, so I think you would have to agree. First off, I could not possibly know the outcome of this random die roll, nor could I know, in reality, the number that you might randomly choose between, let's say, 1 and 5. I could not possibly know that ahead of time. And then we perform this highly destructive shuffle, which it is, the down-under shuffle. Okay? So at this point, we can finish from here, or we can perform something called an under-down, which is kind of a close cousin to the down-under. Would you like me to perform an under-down or stop right here? You want me to stop right here, so no under-down. Okay, that's fine. Just know that you could, okay? And we'll cover that case in the tutorial. Okay, so from here, all I'm going to do is now demonstrate to you psychic intuition in action. Okay, so see if you can kind of sense what I'm doing to begin to develop this powerful ability within yourself. Okay, so I'm going to take the cards. I'm going to push off the top 2 cards. Left. I'll take the top 2 on the right. And then I think all I'll do is just deal the next one on the left. Next one on the right. Okay, that's feeling like I've done something important here after all of that randomization that was out of my control. So how well did my psychic intuition work for us today? Oh, I would say that's looking pretty darn good. We've re-separated the jacks from the queens, despite the choices that you as the spectator made along the way. Okay, so let's explain how this works really quickly. It'll just take a couple minutes here. Okay, so this is all based on an invariant structure for a packet of 6 cards that I recently discovered. Okay, so let me just show you. And I have J's and Q's here for the jacks and queens, but those could be zeros and ones or something like that, or reds and blacks if you'd like. Okay, so let me just show you what I did. Well, we started with 3 jacks, 3 queens. You can randomly stack those. That's fine. And then I pushed off pairs into 3 piles. And then I stacked the first pair on top of the third, and then that set of 4 on top of the middle pair. Okay, so what that will do is, well, depending on where the jacks and queens are in the initial stacking, you'll get something like this. You'll get 2 jacks, followed by 2 queens, followed by a jack and a queen. And I think if you go back, I think I even showed the organization of the packet, and I believe it's this exact one here. If it's not, the jacks and queens have just merely switched places. Okay, so here is the invariant structure up to inversion. That just means the jacks and queens all switch places with one another. Okay? So for example, this right here, this could be our starting organization after pushing off pairs into 3 piles and stacking in the way that I showed you. Quote, its inversion is this right here, where you can see that jacks and queens have just switched places. Okay? Now both of these organizations of the packet share a common characteristic that you can take advantage of. Okay? So just look at what's happening. Let's focus on the top one. The top 2 are of one kind, so 2 jacks, 2 queens, and now these single cards, the first one is a jack. It agrees with the first pair. The second single card is a queen. It agrees with the second pair. That's true down here as well. 2 queens, the first single card is a queen. 2 jacks, the second single card is a jack. Okay, so you can plan on that structure. Well, if either one of these is true, after repeat down under shuffles, which is the case, what I did was I pushed off the top 2, like into one pile, next to the 2 queens into the other, and then I just dealt the final 2 cards left, right, in that same left to right direction. Okay, so that's guaranteed to separate the jacks from the queens, regardless of how many down under shuffles are performed. That's the amazing thing. Now, if you want to give them a final further choice, which affects things but does not destroy everything, you can give them the option to have an under down. So this is where you go under down, under down. Well, the only difference is if we begin with this right here is identical to that. If you perform 1, this is important, if you perform 1 under down, it converts it to this right here. So if you notice, the jacks stay where they are. The first pair stays where it is. The second pair stays where it is. All it does is switch the final 2 cards. That's what the under down shuffle will do if performed once on this structure here. So the only difference for the finale is you would push off a pair of jacks, push off a pair of queens. Now instead of dealing the remaining 2 cards left-right, as you've just done with the pairs left-right, you go in opposite order. You deal the next card on the right and then the final card on the left. And you will have paired up the jacks and queens perfectly. So thank you for watching, and I encourage you to take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.